When I built my first racing drone, I used a cheap $10 FPV camera. It got the job done, but as time went on, I started to feel like the poor image quality was starting to limit my enjoyment of flying. In particular, I was having a lot of difficulty around sunset. As soon as I turned toward the sun, the rest of the image would get dark, making it difficult to fly around. At this time of year, the days are also getting shorter, meaning that I'd have less available time to fly in bright sunlight. All of these factors made me feel like it was time to start looking at options for a better camera. This is the RunCam Eagle 2, and it's one of RunCam's newer FPV cameras. It comes in both 4x3 and 16:9 aspect ratios, and costs about $45 on Amazon. Its headlining features are a wide dynamic range image and improved low light performance, which were two things I was looking for. So I decided to try it out, and after using it for a while, I'm pretty impressed. As soon as you open the box, it's obvious that RunCam is selling a higher quality product than a typical cheap FPV cam. The camera case is made of metal and has a premium look to it. Besides the camera itself, you get the necessary cable for power and signal, as well as an aluminum bracket and the necessary screws for mounting. The RunCam mount uses 4 screws to secure the camera, but they also include a second backplate that you can put on if you want to use a different mounting method. In general, I was happy with the build quality of all the accessories. However, I did manage to strip some of the hex screw heads when I tightened the camera onto the mount. I would have liked to see screws made out of a stronger material, but at least there are extras. The Eagle 2 has an OSD port on the back, but it's not for the type of OSD you'd use during a flight to monitor voltage. It would have been nice to see a flight OSD on this camera, but it's not a deal breaker. Instead, you can plug a small controller into the OSD port to change camera settings such as sharpness and brightness. I ended up leaving the settings on auto for this video, but it's great to have the ability to change those settings if you aren't happy with the image from the camera. So speaking of the image, let's look at some footage and see what the Eagle 2 looks like in flight. Overall, the Eagle 2 has better image quality than other FPV cameras I've used. I feel like I can just see things more clearly. No FPV camera is especially high resolution, but it feels like I'm getting a nicer looking image from the camera with more clarity than what I'm used to. But where I really started to appreciate the Eagle 2 is when I went flying at sunset. This was a situation that constantly frustrated me with other FPV cameras. I felt like anytime I was flying toward the sun, I had no visibility of the ground or obstacles around me. It's really frustrating. The wide dynamic range on the Eagle 2 allows the camera to clearly show the entire scene, even when the sun is in the frame. Check out this footage and notice that I'm still able to see the ground and trees even when I turn toward the sun. This is a huge improvement in usability and something I'm really enjoying about the Eagle 2. RunCam advertises the Eagle 2 as having improved low light performance compared to other FPV cameras, and I really saw the benefits of that. As a test, I waited until after sunset and then took off for a flight around the nearby school. It's actually a little difficult for me to show you how dark it was because the camera does such a good job of compensating for it. But pay attention to the lights in the parking lot and you can see that it's actually pretty dark where I'm flying. I'm really excited about being able to fly in these conditions. I haven't had the Eagle 2 long enough to do any long-term durability testing, but so far it seems to be pretty tough. It's survived at least 1 or 2 hard crashes so far with no damage. RunCam does sell replacement lenses and cases if things do go badly. At a price of $45 on Amazon, the Eagle 2 is definitely priced in the more premium range of FPV cameras. I wasn't sure whether I was going to think the increased price was really worth it. But after using the camera for a while, I'm really happy with it. I feel like it gives me the ability to fly in more varied lighting conditions, and is a general all-around improvement to my FPV setup. If you're looking to upgrade your camera, I'd definitely consider the RunCam Eagle 2. I'll put a link to the camera in the description, but you can probably find it from your normal drone parts supplier. Thanks for watching and happy flying!